right, everybody. My next guest is a very funny comedian, actress, and podcast host who is saving lives one punchline at a time. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Marla Schultz. Marla, how you doing?
Hello. Fine, better now that I'm talking to
Well, hey, that's a good thing. But
you.
how was
Yeah.
your day so far? Did you have a decent day?
Yeah. Let me see. I'm realizing my dog is picking up my compulsive overeating, trying to be cute to get food, which is something I did as a kid. And I'm getting harassed on the New York City sidewalks by delivery guys that ride the wrong way on the sidewalks on electric bicycles. Makes me fucking crazy.
What are they doing? They're riding on the bicycles and they're
They have,
harassing you?
yeah, no, I'm harassing them because they will run you over. They have bike lanes. I mean, there's no parking in the city. When's the last time you drove into the city
Yeah,
and try to find a parking spot? You can't because it's all bike lanes. But do these fuckers use the bike lanes? No, they ride on the sidewalk. So it's like their own personal autobahn on these electric scooters, and they go wrong, they go the opposite direction. So I screamed at one today because he almost hit me, and this guy goes, "Shut up, you Karen." I
Oh,
was like,
see that? They that's the thing that they did now to make us unable to complain about anything is they shamed us with the Karen and I forget what they call guys, but yeah, the Karens,
Marins.
yeah, Barons and Karens.
Marins and Karen. No, but it wasn't the guy on the bicycle because they're like, they fuck you, they're foreign. But
Right.
this guy goes, "Shut up, you Karen. They got to make a living." And he goes, "And you want your food delivered?" And I was like, "Yeah, but they have bike lanes." And then I come home and tell my husband, he's like, "How many times do I have to tell you? You don't know who you're dealing with. And I can defend you in a court of law, but not on the streets of New York City."
I tell you, the streets of New York are nuts these days. Like you said, with the bike lanes and everything else, there's so many things you have to be careful of. Because you can get hit by those bikes. People get hit by bikes all the time. Like
And they're
if you,
getting killed.
yeah, because they're going the wrong way, and there's all kinds of, yeah. It's crazy. There's a lot of things. You forget about the old school. You just had to worry about taxi, getting hit by a taxi or something, or getting mugged. Now you got to worry about the guy delivering food who might run you over and kill you with his bicycle.
Or, which is my personal favorite, and it's like, I don't know, do you ever read Richard Belzer's book that said if you laugh when somebody trips, there's a really good chance you could be a stand-up comic? Well, I've taken it a step further, like all those MFers that, pass on the inside. You're driving on the Southern State, the LIE, everybody's passing in the slow lane. I open my cab door. Boom! He rolled right into the door. I swear to God, me and the cab driver were high-fiving each other like, idiots.
Damn, yeah, that's aggressive. See, you're definitely a true blue New Yorker.
Oh my God, absolutely. But then, you walk around with this rage, and it's like, who are you hurting? Yourself. I
How often do you go into the city? You're there all the time?
live here.
Oh, you're in Manhattan. I thought you were
I,
Long Island and commuted in.
no, I'm a Long Island girl, represent, but I've been a Manhattanite since the mid 90s.
Wow. So yeah, so you were there all through the COVID era and all that fun stuff.
Oh, I live right by the hospitals, and it was great walking all masked up with your sneeze shield on, like you were walking, a salad bar, and seeing the refrigerator trucks, housing all the dead bodies. You
Oh
kind of
my
like,
God.
is this Armageddon? And
That
you're
was scary.
lucky you were on Long Island.
All the way out east. Yeah. So it's just farms out here and vineyards. You ever go out east like Montauk area? I'm not as far out as Montauk, but I'm by like Riverhead, Long Island.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing a huge gig in Southold.
I saw that with DC Benny. Yeah, DC Benny's
Yes.
like DC Benny moved out here from, I think he was in Brooklyn for the longest time. Moved out here and he's bringing the comedy with him, and I'm loving it, man. You're performing out here. Who else was on the
Yes.
bill? There's Dean Edwards.
Dean Edwards and some guy, stand by, uh Travis Sturgeon or something. I've never heard of him. Have you?
I have not, but I'm glad that to see DC is making something happen over there in the North Shore. We call it NoFo, so the cool people call it NoFo out here. So you get the North Fork, and
I
yeah,
love it.
I want to kind of come out there and check it out. I saw the flyer of you that you're going to be out here. And I was like, this is awesome. You're going to come all the way out to the country.
I listen, I spent a lot of time in Noyak. My folks lived in Noyak for a really long time. I mean, since the late 80s. So I feel like I grew up out there, and I was looking for the little thing talking about I can't find it. About the show out in
Southold.
in Southold for CAST, Center for Advocacy and Transformation.
Very cool. And what date is that again? That's like coming up April?
April 1st.
Oh, perfect. So I'll definitely make sure this runs prior to April 1st to help promote that. Yeah, we had DC Benny on a couple, I don't know, maybe a year ago. He's awesome, dude, man.
Love him.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller, and I knew him way back in the day, when I first was covering writing about comedy and stuff like that. He did storytelling.
I love him. And I ran into him at McGuire's in Bohemia, and we were on the same bill with Joey Cola. And, you just gravitate towards the nice ones.
Right.
Or like, the semi-normal.
Yeah. No, and what a bill that is with the three of you over there at McGuire's. McGuire's has been popping. A lot of good acts have been coming out to McGuire's. So that's good to see too. Because a lot of times McGuire's kind of gets, everybody wants to go to the main room in Governor's in Levittown, but it's good to have the headliners, the big shots out here too.
It's a great room. I always say Long Island crowds are the best crowds, because you can still be, true to your roots, and you can still be a little, un-PC, and, they're really not into this woke stuff. I mean, it's like performing in the 90s kind of thing.
Yeah, salt of the earth people, and they just want real comedy, and they want to laugh, and then they don't want restrictions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, and I think, like I keep saying with the whole thing with this with the woke stuff is that we need comedy now more than ever, and the comedians are the kind of the first line of defense that they've always been.
Yeah.
So it's good to see, and the comedians are the ones that stand up to the man kind of thing. So stand up against that kind of stuff.
Not the man, it's the shim and the him and the she and the they. My grandmother would be spinning in her grave. She was a grammar teacher, and my best friend's son, is in college, and she said to me, he's got a girlfriend, but she's a they. And I go, who's a they? She said, she's a they. Why is she a they? She's a they. So if my grandmother was alive, how they doing, or are they coming? But it's just, I'm all for protecting people's rights, but it's like they could have come up with something else, because it's so weird to be like, how they doing? I mean,
yeah, it's one of those things with that. Like, again, I'm kind of with you on that. Like, look, I want everybody to be treated fairly, and everybody to feel good about themselves and whatever they identify as and all that kind of stuff. What gets me is when they want to kind of force that upon everyone. So like for your grandmother, or even for me, if I don't understand the they, them, and all that stuff, don't come after me. That doesn't make me a bad person. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like it's like, there's so much criticism, and everybody wants to like comment, and, the Gen X and the millennials here in the city, they do that, and and they get all uptight. And if you can't make fun of something, really, what's the point? But, listen, in Tennessee, they're outlawing trans shows. It's like, it's turning into Nazi Germany. I hate to say it. It's a little scary, because, once they start coming after the gays, the Jews are always next.
But it is like it is weird how the pendulum is swinging back and forth when it comes to this stuff, and it is a very strange time where where just when you think you figured something out, another thing pops up that you never even saw it happening, and you know what I mean. It's just this really crazy time period. Like
That it is, but it's also, you have marginalized people, be it, I was just in Alaska and they're known as Native, I think, I don't even know because I don't want to piss anybody off, but I always piss somebody off as noted walking down the street, getting called a Karen. I just
yeah.
want to say one thing. This voice, if somebody goes, gee, what would a Karen sound like? And it would be Marla Schultz. I have to apologize before I even say hello, because it's like when I'm not, because my eyebrows are dropping, and I'm just like pissed off and I don't have Botox,
But because of that, do you think twice before, like if they let's say you went to Starbucks, they gave you the wrong drink, do you think twice before going back and changing it because you don't want to be a Karen and you're just like, all right, I guess I'll just drink this drink, or do you figure out another way to do it? How do you what's your approach?
I compliment before I criticize. That's my thing. You compliment before you, like, I know you went to such an effort, but this coffee just put hair on my chest that I spent a fortune getting rid of. Could you give me another cup, please? I had to do that. And I'm so conscious of it because, I feel like if somebody calls you a Karen, it's like this stink on you. You can't get it off kind of thing.
It's tough. Yeah, I feel that as well sometimes, like in certain situations, and I like that compliment before you critique.
Criticize.
Yes, tell them, hey, you know what, I really appreciate the effort, but I asked for no pickles or
Yes.
whatever it is.
Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody wants to be appreciated. And, I've had to deal with like getting medical records, and you're dealing with these morons. And they asked me for my parents' obituary to prove that I was their daughter. And, you just look like you just want to reach through the phone line and be like, are you retarded? What's wrong with you?
Yes.
What do you think I'm going to do with dead parents' medical records, for fuck's sake? You got to kill them with kindness. And, it's a challenge.
It is it's every day. It's
every day.
Especially living in the city. But like when you said about going to Alaska, I know some people that were from Alaska and stuff like that, and this is like years ago, and I would say, "Oh, how is it, with all those Eskimos?" And they go, "Oh, no,
Right.
no, you don't want to call them Eskimos. That's like that's like the bad word for them. It's like the N word or something for the
correct, or the K word for Jews. Yep, got
yeah.
it. But they're called Inuit or Native, and or Indigenous. And it's listen, they more power to you, call me hot, whatever. I identify as hot, and I'm not talking sexy. I'm like burning up all the time. How's that?
I identify as hot. That's awesome. Yeah, I do as well.
Don't I look like a gerbil?
Drink it from the side.
Yeah, you ever have?
Yeah.
Have one of those?
That's awesome. We should all have those. Just in a room is the big water thing with a straw. That would be awesome.
They have the camelbacks. I was really into hiking, and you have the camelbacks. You have a backpack with your water.
The hose. Yeah. Very cool.
It makes sense. But that was really attractive. It was like, hello.
Now you throughout COVID and stuff like that, you kind of took a little bit of a hiatus from comedy, and you've been breaking back in the last year or so. How is that, like, when you trying to get your comedy chops back? Was it challenging, or did you just kind of jump right back in? Or take me through that process.
Well, I lost both parents in 2 years, within 2 years.
God bless.
And my mom had pancreatic cancer, and being a caretaker sucked the life out of me, because you're watching somebody you love die in pain, and you're giving them morphine, and I'm cooking. It was like I had a baby, and you're up 24/7. And, next thing I know, I started leaking, because I felt like she was my kid. I'm teasing. That's
Right.
disgusting. That was really stupid. When you go for a joke and you think it's going to be funny, and then it starts tumbling out and there's like no pulling back, and or it's like slipping on a banana peel, like all of a sudden you're like, hey, that kind of thing.
I think it was good leaking. Yeah, it was funny. I was thinking it.
Okay. So, no, it just sucked the life out of me. Then dealing with my siblings, like, divvying up, selling her house. A month later, I sold my apartment, and it's like I was hitting the Xanax, so I had to go through a little withdrawal and getting sleeping. And it's when you don't sleep for 6 months and you're up all night and you're worried and it does something to your algorithm, whatever your body rhythm.
Right.
And I did, truth be told, I did the Nantucket Comedy Festival, and I felt I was the weakest link. Like, it was way too soon, because here, you're working on material. You talk about your parents. Now, all of a sudden, they're in the past. How do you keep them in the present? And then you talk about them, and it's like you haven't developed the muscle memory of, everybody has parents, and these are my stories. And so what if they're dead? Nobody has to know that. But it was like, it's like driving a stick shift, having two broken hands and two broken feet. You're just kind of like, getting into the rhythm. I'm trying to come up with metaphors. And so it was really hard. And I worked at Governor's, and I have anxiety to begin with. And if the anxiety was up, and it's like, I didn't have the muscle memory, even though I was working the clubs down in Raleigh, which I loved. I loved playing urban rooms, and it was just hard, catching up on sleep, moving, that just sucks the life out of you.
Yeah.
Did it 2 times.
Jeez.
So, but it's been hard, and now it's getting better. But then I had this insane accident, so that kind of knocked me back a little bit. But
yeah, what happened with that? You you broke your ankle or something? What happened again?
No, I wish. I was coming home from a gig, and when you drive late at night, you never it's desolate. You don't come to a dead stop. You do the slow roll, right?
Right.
So I'm coming home from Westchester, and my husband and I, we fight all the time over GPS. And he's like, he's like Rain Man. He goes, why do you argue with technology? You just added 10 minutes to the ETA. And I wanted to come down the West Side Highway. I live on the Upper East, and then cut across where there's, people in the streets, or what if there's stoplights. But instead, I was right at the GW, and it said to take the Bruckner. And so I took the Bruckner, and my gut is like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? And to get off at 138th Street, because I'm not going to pay the toll to go over to the Triborough. You get on the Willis Avenue Bridge. So I get off, and my gut is like, me, screaming. So I'm in my car. I have a nice car, and I look over. I'm behind, right at a stoplight. It's me and the car in front of me. And I look over, and I see this guy with pure hate and evil in his eyes. And fear just shuddered. I was like, holy shit, like I'm in trouble kind of thing. Seconds later, I'm going to see if I can call up the picture. He hurls a brick this big, cement block, through my front passenger window. It misses my head, slams into my right shoulder. I'm due to get it replaced, and now it just exacerbated it. Slams into my shoulder. I have this bruise like this big, chipped some of the bone. Glass is all over me, and I was like, holy shit, I've been shot. And I hit the gas, and I rear-ended the car in front of me, and then I see these 2 kids running on my left side, and they come over, and I was like, get away from me, don't fucking hurt me. I'm on the phone with the cops. I've been shot, because I was in such pain. And I look, and there was like this shotgun blast, and the cops came. It's a violent assault felony. So if they catch the guy, which they're not going to catch the guy, They it's 8 to 10, but it screwed me up, and it was
Holy,
really
what,
awful. Let me see. I got a picture. Wait till you see the size of the
holy
brick.
shit. I had no idea that you've gone through this. So you were just driving home, and what time was it about?
It was 11:30. It was a Saturday night, and I got off at 138th Street, and it wasn't, I would go down like exit 2, which is the Willis Avenue Bridge, and it just let's see. I'm just wondering, can you, no, you can't see
You might have
that.
to tilt it a little, maybe, or even if you send me the picture, I could post it later. Up,
I'll
like I
send
posted.
you the picture.
Yeah. So okay, so
So I thought I was going to die. I really,
yeah, that's
honestly,
horrifying.
fear. And I said, okay, God, I guess this is it. I hope my husband and dog know how much I love him. Like I didn't know if he was coming around, if he was going to hit me again, if the two kids and the people in the car in front didn't get out. And I thought it was like a gangbanger car, darkened windows, Starsky and
Yeah,
Hutch. And the kids came over to help. I couldn't open the front door. I mean, it was like just, I
you
had
must have
glass
been
everywhere.
totally confused because here you are just driving home. You're out of light. Some guy all of a sudden out of nowhere with a brick throws it through the window. Your
Yep.
mind must have been going a million miles a second, and then to think that you've been shot it must have been a terrifying experience. So then what happened to that guy? He just ran off after he did that?
He ran off, and I just was like, holy fuck. I just thought it was like, and it was a hate crime. I mean, let's call a shamrock a shamrock.
Right.
Because the couple in front of me was black. The guy that threw the brick was a black guy, and I was a white chick in the Bronx in a nice car. And the thing that I can't play the victim and the woulda, coulda, shouldas, but the lesson is my gut is like danger, danger, Will
Follow
Robinson.
your gut. Always follow your instincts, right?
Yeah. I bet you I will. I don't know if you can see this. No.
I could
Can you
see.
see
Oh,
that?
that's the windshield. I could see a
That's
little.
the
Yeah, the
passenger
whole.
window.
Holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
Was he waiting? Like, how did he like know you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was there a protest or anything going on nearby, or was just this
No
random
one was
kid?
there. No one was there. I looked over, and I shuddered because I was like, fuck, he's gonna ask me for money. And I was looking at pure evil, like this guy wanted to kill me, is really what it boils down to, because he's throwing it at somebody's head.
Wow, wow. And did he call you a Karen after that, or no? It was just
Right. He's like, I'm just trying to make a living.
no. That is a horrible experience that you went through. And when was this? Like
January.
of this year of 2023?
Yes. Yes. My
Wow.
first gig, my first like big gig. I was coming home from this like big benefit kind of thing. And yeah, that happened. It really, listen, no one's going to make me a victim. I have been through a ton, and I'm a survivor. What can I say? But my husband was so upset because I didn't call him. And
Yeah.
my car turned into a hoopty. The cops were like, what did he look like? And it was a black cop. And I was like, he was a black guy and he looked like Kanye West. And the guy's like, can't you do better? I'm like, I'm telling you, he looked like Kanye West.
It may have been Kanye. Imagine that. No, but how you have been handling? I know you victimhood aside. I know you're not being the victim here, but that still is traumatizing. How you been coping with that? Have you been getting through it? Have you been like nightmares or anything like that? Or you just
Oh no, I was definitely having nightmares. I was replaying it, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? How come, like, why were you blasting disco? Because I wanted to blend. And like, why didn't you listen to your gut? And I don't know. It was a little bit of the beat up, and then just the trauma aspect of, holy shit, this guy wanted to kill me. I mean, he wanted to do serious bodily harm. And seriously, the brick went boom, and just, slammed into the shoulder.
and the shoulder, the bruising looks like it's gone away.
It
And
has, but there's still a bump, and there's, I'm gonna have to get it replaced, which I'm not looking forward to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's one heck of a way to start the year off, you know?
I know, I know, I know. And I'm trying to edit and do TikTok and all this stuff. And I'm gonna record this story and do it because hey, why not turn tragedy into, you know, what is it? Time. Humor is tragedy plus time.
Tragedy plus time equals comedy. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, wow. And that's been like kind of one of your mantras, right? About healing through comedy
Oh yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, and you know, saving lives one punchline at a time and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you like that? That's on
I
my website.
I do like that. I think that's cool because laughter, you know, and just like we are now talking about this horrible story, but kind of, you know, you're cracking jokes throughout it. Laughter does heal, you
Yeah.
know, and there's lots of like there's actual medical studies that say that like laughter, you know, could lead to good health and for your mind and for your body, like blood pressure, all kinds of stuff.
Oh
It helps
yeah.
release stress.
Norman Cousins, he did he was an author, and I think it's also, you know, the positive mental attitude. Because negative thoughts, they're worse than being bullied, especially if you do it to yourself. I mean, that's something. And also, I got bullied as a kid by the tough girls, and the minute you make them laugh, people are putty in your hands. And I learned that was like a really big lesson that I learned. And you can charm people, you get more things with sugar than with vinegar. But it also, if something bad, traumatic happens, like I don't mean to make light of this, but there are some, humor in it, but, it was really a serious thing. But I think because I can, put distance through it, and it just helped me not, listen, I went out and I did a gig, and I drove out to Bohemia the weekend after, and I'm driving around the parking lot, and my anxiety started for sure. And I called Joey Cola. I was like, there's no parking. There's no parking. Where do I park? And he's like, Marla, calm down. I'm like, you don't understand what I've been through. It's dark. It's dark. And he goes, just park on the side under a street light. I was like, okay, kind of thing. And I had DC walked me out. He walked me out to my car because I told him what happened.
He's a big dude.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, I think that's, I think anybody, male, female, they, them, will be terrified if they've ever gone through something like that. And I do think that it's the positive attitude that keeps you going, and the fact that you got back on your, got back in the car, drove all the way out to Bohemia, and are kind of getting back on the horse, as they say, is a huge thing to do, because a lot of people might, if they go through something like that, be traumatized that they'd be afraid to even go back out. I mean, that's a big deal. What happened? You were literally attacked in your car at a light. You know what I mean? That's freaking nuts.
But I got to tell you, in driving at Bohemia at 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, I was like, holy shit, it's so dark. It's so dark. And I was like, I'm doing the slow roll. Don't forget to do the slow roll. So I was like rolling through, and I was like, fuck it. And I was like, I was driving through one red light after the other. And I was like, you know what, if they pull me over, I'm going to be like, look at this picture.
Yeah.
But scary.
It is scary. And the fact that they didn't catch the dude or any of that kind of stuff, and who knows if they ever will, or what's going on with that stuff. It's just a nutty time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way that, it is now set up, and he'll just be in and out anyway.
Oh yeah. I'm sure this wasn't his first time at the rodeo, but the fact, he was looking for, a mark. There he was, like, I mean, where did he find a cement brick this big? He was just waiting, and he came in, and the cop told me that that a lot of times these guys will target single women because women will put their purse on the front seat. So what they do is they smash the passenger window, and then they grab the purse, and then they take off. So he was like, did you have your purse on the And I was like, no, it's black. I got a black interior. It's on the black floor. Oh, and there was no CCTV. Everything, there was like a big truck that blocked the cameras, and
Oh wow. Yeah.
it was a shit show.
So after he smashed it, he just ran. He never came towards you or anything. He just threw it and got and disappeared.
You know, maybe it was a gift and a miracle that I rear-ended the car in front of me, because if I was alone, who knows?
Oh
And
yeah,
and
yeah,
then the fact that the two kids came running over and they were like trying to open my front door, and I was like, get the fuck away. I mean, I was like a lunatic,
yeah, yeah.
you know, but you have to be. I was ready to do my Krav Maga, punch him in the throat, hand, nose, kick him in the nuts, hit the gas.
Well, you definitely were thinking fast. You called the cops right away. You like
Yeah.
you know you were alert. You weren't completely taken out like mentally. You kind of stayed focused and didn't, and making sure everybody stayed away from you and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I was
Wow.
like a lunatic, but that's what you do. It's like, get away. You know what I mean? Because I learned fighting the black chicks. You had to be, because they'd be ripping off their earrings. Don't make me take my earrings off. Yeah, and you just have to go nuts. So that's what I was doing.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, and geez, I'm glad you're bouncing back. I mean, that's tough. That's a tough one. But God bless, man. I'm glad to
Thanks,
see
Don.
you're persevering through it, and
I'm like a cockroach.
right on. And I want to see you turn that into a comedy bit. This, and this way you take control of it. You own it.
I'm going to do a TikTok, and it's really going to be like, thanks a lot, Google Maps. What's up? So I rather save my life than save time driving through a shitty neighborhood. Because all of a sudden, one time I was coming home from Boston, and it looked like the map. I took a snapshot. It looked like a shamrock. It was like I'm in Lincolnbury, and then I'm in Gloustenburg, and all. It was crazy. I was spinning and spinning. I should have just stayed on 95. Big deal. But no, Google Maps twice. It's driven me into really bad areas. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
That's why I drive on 95 a lot. I actually have family in Raleigh also, right? So I'm always going to Raleigh. I was just there last weekend. So for my second granddaughter just turned 1, so we had a big
Oh,
birthday.
wow.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I drive there all the time, 10-hour drive or whatever.
Do you do that by yourself, your wife? You guys go together?
Yeah, we go together. Sometimes I'll bring my kid. We'll carpool. I go there so often that we don't even fly, because I just drive it, because the flights these days not reliable, expensive, and I go too often, even though I should with the miles and stuff. But in any case.
You're going through like Civil War reenacting country. I mean, I've done that drive.
Oh, the Virginia. Yeah.
Oh.
You can hear the banjos.
It's like graveyards, and there's like, what is it, 17? You're like driving on this very rural.
Oh, you took the way through West Virginia.
I think so.
Yeah, I went that way a few times. I do this drive a lot. Normally I just stay at 95 and I go all the way down, and Google always tries to get me to go around DC, and you talk about going through some bad areas, because there's a lot of bad areas in DC, and it always takes you around all these bad areas. And then one time I was just like, you know what? I'm staying on 95. I'm not getting off, because one time I missed my exit, ended up in a really bad area.
Oh yeah.
Same type of thing. But and then when I did it, I looked at the ETA to see if it would change, and actually saved time by not going on that route. So I was like, what are they doing? Is this some kind of scheme to get us to go through these areas, maybe to use their restaurants? I don't know what's the purpose.
You know what? I bet they thought you were a Jew, and it's all that boycott and divest bullshit, like, thank you, Israel, for giving us Waze and Google Maps, you idiots. So they probably thought you were a Jew, and they were like, let's pick them off.
But yeah, I think that's a great approach to to it, a great angle is going after the Google and the and Waze and the fact that they led you into that moment.
Yeah, they directed me to death, essentially. You know what I mean? It's like, no, but that's the whole thing. Thanks a lot, Google. The one time I don't listen to my gut, you drive me into my date with death kind of thing.
I actually think you could turn that negative into a positive. I think that bit's gonna be golden.
I just want the TikTok followers.
There you go. We're gonna get you there. What was it, at
For your
Marla Schultz?
page. Yes, for your page, FYP. This lesson could save your life. Google Maps.
Please share that with me when you get it. I don't have a TikTok, but share that with me when you get it. I want to have it. I'll share it and spread it on all my platforms as well, because I think that's huge.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
But
wow.
I went to Alaska to, I got to go to nature, and my husband and I are really into Arctic travel. We were in -25, and it was, we went to go see the Northern Lights, and
wow,
all the stars literally aligned, and there was like solar activity. And I got to tell you, I wish I did drugs, because tripping on mescaline or whatever mushrooms and sitting back and watching, it was like these swirls and colors, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, that looks like a rabbit. My husband's like, no, it looks like a fox. I'm like, yeah, it looks like a fox. Like, I wish we were tripping, because that would have been the ultimate.
Oh my God, look at this one. Oh wow, you can see the purple. Oh gosh. Where?
that's super cool. Yeah, so you went there, you saw the Northern Lights. I thought that was only from Iceland, but I guess you could see them from Alaska too, huh?
It's the northern hemisphere, and there's something called the KPI index, where it tracks the aurora. You can see it you can see it in Maine, like North Maine. You could see it in Nova Scotia and Labrador, Canada. Like,
wow, that's pretty sweet, man.
Where the Labrador retrievers are from.
So you can now cross that off the list, huh? To see the Northern Lights.
That was the top of my bucket list, but I want to go to the Arctic Circle up in Norway. Like, it's so cool, because I don't know, it's so beautiful. It's like otherworldly.
Yeah. So that's must have been very cathartic too. You clear your mind, you're in there, very peaceful.
Yep.
It's like serene, like you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people like that, from when, especially in the city life, to go to something like that where it's just complete peace and silence.
Well, growing up on Long Island, the beach was that was my thing. That was like manna from heaven, and it still is. But this is, so many people travel to Iceland and Norway, and they don't even get a chance to see the Northern Lights. And we flew to Anchorage first. And we got there Monday night. People were like, oh my God, it was life-changing. The aurora was amazing. And they were having like freakouts. And of course it snowed. So we were there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday we fly up to Fairbanks, where we were going to go stay at this place. And I was like, damn, there's a lot of snow, and I don't want to go back and have somebody go, oh, did you see the Northern Lights? It was like, yeah, no. They're like, you traveled all that way and you didn't see the Northern Lights? I didn't want to have that conversation.
So you stuck it out, and you did it.
Yeah, and it was the day my mother was taken from home hospice to hospital hospice. It's like the clouds cleared and this giant S appeared in the sky, and Mark and I was like, we're sober, right? And I was like, It was
wow.
wacky.
Wow.
And cool.
That's super cool. So you
Yes.
you don't even need mushrooms. You were just tripping on life, man.
Look at I mean, I wouldn't know what to take. Like, could you see me on cocaine?
Wow. So that's good. So now you just got back. You just returned, right? Recently, like what?
Friday.
Wow. So now you got to get back to New York mode. That's why probably that happened with the delivery guy. You didn't have any news.
What the fuck? No, but there's no sense of dignity. There's no civility. There's no, when a young guy opens up like a door for me, like somebody in their 20s and their 30s, I'm like, you want to fuck? I mean, oh my God, that's so hot. I'm teasing. I'm not that kind of a whore anymore. Anyway, there's no civility. People walk into you. You see mothers crossing First Avenue and sirens, and they're just texting, pushing their kid across the streets. Ambulances are like,
we're all desensitized to everything. It's not it, and so many people now. It's just craziness. But
that are retards.
Yes, exactly.
It's -25, and I'm only standing in my little mucklucks. With the little bottoms that the rubber bottoms that you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to skid. Anyway, so here I am at the Borealis Base Camp, and tonight the KP Index, which is how they rate Northern Lights activity, and they said it's going to be a 5. 4 is good, 5 is like off the chart, but you can see, look at that, it's starting. So tonight is supposed to be the night. Look at that. Oh my God, that is so cool.
Marla Schultz, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And yeah, man, I hope all good things happen for you for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
The good thing is you got the bad thing out of the way. Now it's all good.
Yeah. Hey, listen, what do they say? Oh no, here's another thing. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. There you go. That's the saying. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
God bless. You rock, Marla
you.
Schultz. Thank you so much. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and all that good stuff.
Not on my street. It's not on my street corner, but I'm Marla Schultz Comedy on Instagram. Marla Schultz. That's MarlaSchultz. I'm on Facebook and TikTok. Marla Schultz Comedy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marla. We'll see you April 1st.
Yes.
In NoFo.
And NoFo at the Trembler. It's for cast. They're having a big benefit at the town hall, I think, in Southold.
Yeah, I'll put the poster up too.
Okay.
In this. You're the best. Marla Schultz. Thank you.